ever been in love before? Have you ever felt like for once in your life you had found the right one? Well, I have. My name is IMANI Crawford, and this is my story. I met my boyfriend Antonio Gibson 6 months ago on my 16th birthday. I immediately fell for him, and everything was perfect, and I mean perfect. It was just something about him that really stuck out, and I wanted to be close to him all the time. Any time of the day that I could get next to him, I was there. So for our 6-month anniversary, he decided to take us out for drinks and to dance at this club. I've never been to a club, so I was thrilled. After a few drinks, I know the alcohol was getting to me because I was ready to dance, and I was full of confidence. And the way I moved on the dance floor, I know it was the alcohol, because I would have never danced like that without the alcohol. After dancing, my feet was hurting and I was ready to go home, but he insisted that we headed back to his place. So I said okay. I told him I could only stay for a couple hours because my mom would trip and I needed to get back home. He said he wouldn't have me out long, but once we got back to his place, things took a turn and eventually heated up very quickly. He told me he loved me. He told me he wanted to spend the rest of his life with me. And I believed him, fully hearted. I was truly in love. He couldn't say anything that I wouldn't believe. But he lied to me. And it broke my heart because I really, really trusted him. I asked him did he have a condom. He said that his pull-out game was A1. And I was a little naive. So I really did think that we would be okay. I really didn't think of none of the consequences. So I encountered my very first sexual encounter. And yes, it was amazing. But at the same time, I should have listened to my inner gut and said no. Because now, a couple weeks later, my worst fear was about to come into reality. I was hanging at his house and I didn't really feel the best. I had been feeling quite funky and I couldn't just figure out what it was. My cycle was a couple days late, but I thought, sometimes your app be wrong. But sadly, my app was not wrong. I went and got a pregnancy test and decided to take it while I was there, and my fear became reality. As I sat on the toilet and waited on the lines, the blue pink plus sign popped up and my heart shredded. How was I going to be able to tell my mom? What would Aunt say? We'd only been together for 6 months. I didn't know what he was going to say, but I know what I had to tell him. I was devastated. All the time that I put into high school, trying to get into the best colleges, what was a baby going to involve? How was I going to be able to take care of a baby when I was a baby? I didn't think about none of this a couple weeks ago, and I should have, because now I'm a mom, and I don't know nothing about being a mama, and I'm terrified. So I told Aunt, and Aunt was angry, sad, and confused. He told me he didn't want no child. He told me that we couldn't work this out at the time because he didn't know what to do, and we couldn't stay with him because his dad couldn't find out he had made a baby. And it upset me very much because I needed somewhere to go. My baby needed his dad, and he didn't want to be apart. So once I made it back home, I had to face the reality and tell my mom that I was pregnant. She took it the worst, worse than Aunt. She told me that I was very irresponsible, and she told me that she was very disappointed in me. She made it be clear that because I wanted to be grown and do what grown folks did, that I had to get out. There wasn't nothing else I could say. Even though I told her I was sorry, she still told me to get out and to not come back. It broke my heart. So with that, I packed my bags and I left. Luckily, I had saved up some money to go to the hotel that I had seen in Ocean Springs. I only had enough for 3 days. What was I going to do after 3 days? I had to figure it out, and I had to figure it out quick. Once I made it up to my room, all the emotions from the last couple weeks that I had been holding in had finally expelled from my body. I was truly, truly hurt. How could Aunt betray me? How can my mom kick me out? Why she didn't want to help me? She stated that she didn't want to raise no more children. But in the end of the day, I'm your baby. And yes, I made a mistake. But why wouldn't you help me? All the tears poured out my face, down onto the floor. And I just sat there in distraught and not knowing what I was going to do. I need help, and I need help fast, because this baby is not going to stop growing. What am I going to do with my life now?